What's up, guys? We have unfulfilled promises from President Joe Biden and Congress of 4 federal level stimulus checks to go out to everybody in the nation. We've heard of $2,000, also $200 per month, Social Security increase, whipping out student loan debt, and child tax credits. We haven't seen any of that go out. And President Joe Biden just made an announcement that more money is going to be going out to new spending, but it's not to the American people. It's actually going out to other countries. This is going to be pushing our economy into a recession because this is new spending despite the fact that we have over $800 billion just sitting in the accounts from previous stimulus packages that were intended to go out to the American people. As we are hearing, 80% of the population of the United States says the number one concern and priority should be our local country's economy. But you guys, we are going to be diving into some updates that they are going to be complaining about this, saying, hey, where are the priorities? G7 rolls out a global infrastructure plan that aims to contribute $200 billion. Biden says the group of 7 nations on Sunday began rolling out a global infrastructure initiative in a bid, as they described it, to promote stability and improve conditions in developing and middle-income countries around the globe. The Partnership of Global Infrastructure and Investment plans on disbursing $600 billion by 2027 in infrastructure investments, with President Joe Biden announcing that the US alone could aim to spend $200 billion in public and private partnerships. So a third of this G7 group is coming directly from the United States, going out to other countries. I know that a lot of people are saying the economy should be the primary focus and we should be trying to use some of the unspent funds that have already been issued so we don't add more to the debts and inflation. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into the news today. Now, while Americans are suffering from record high inflation at home, President Biden, while he's overseas, wants to spend more to help the global economy. He said, collectively, we aim to mobilize nearly $600 billion from the G7 by 2027. These strategic investments are areas of critical to sustainable development and to our shared global stability. Health and health security, digital connectivity, gender equality, equity, climate, and energy security. And now, Obama's former top economic advisors, who will be among the first, will warn about rising inflation, says, now recession will happen, that our recession is almost inevitable. Probably a 75% to 80% chance within the next 2 years, and there's certainly a real risk that it will come sooner. Joe Biden talks about $600 billion, this PGI, over a number of years, and Larry Summers says, well, maybe in 2 years, we will have a recession. At some point, if anyone looks at the definition of recession and looks at where we are now, areas of stagflation, you don't need an economics degree to see this. Lara Trump doesn't think that Europe's leading indicators are trying to sell us. She said, so that sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows all day long. But obviously, people go to the grocery store, they go to the gas pump every single day. They are feeling the impact of the negative decisions made by this president, by the Democrats. They have dug us into this deep hole that we are now in. And I think the idea that a recession is 2 years away, give us all a break. It's basically here now. They are really doing everything they can to try and downplay things. But when it's impacting your everyday life, Americans are not going to buy that. And I think it's kind of insulting to see our president overseas. They're talking about spending money for the rest of the world. First of all, printing more money. You can't just continue to do this. Spend money, print money. As Venezuela and countries like Venezuela, once you just continue to print money in perpetuity, then the money becomes less valuable than the paper it's actually printed on. And that sadly is the direction we are heading in America. So to see Joe Biden over there talking about spending money for the rest of the world when people are having a hard time getting by day to day here, I mean, it's bad luck. Nico Shafir said, I graduated medical school with over $300,000 worth of debts. And I worked really hard to pay off every dollar of that debt. And I agree that they are continuing to print money, they are continuing to borrow. It's like Oprah is in the White House. She's like, everyone gets a car. You get this, you get this. And that's what President Biden is doing right now. But if you listen to what they are talking about, I mean, G7 is behind China. China's Belt and Road Initiative for the last decade. They focused on hard infrastructure. They are way ahead of us. But here they are coming forth now pledging billions of dollars to clean energy, communication and gender equity, and equality and information regarding gender equity. So again, this isn't a strong look for the United States. We are not doing well. The Democrats overspent. They extended the national emergency with COVID. They've created a very lazy society of people who don't want to go back to work. And we are in real trouble here. He needs to come back home and focus on home. We are not doing well here. Continuing the discussion, Trace Gallagher said, I also watched the entire interview with Larry Summers, and he went on to say, that if we do have a recession, which he thinks is 80% likely, it's imperative to ease the pain. And he said we need to slay the inflation dragon and pour in more federal money. The problem is not how you slay the dragon, that's how you feed the dragon. Even these left-wing or liberal economists are saying all of this spending is what causing this inflation. That's the problem here. He kept going on. They are trying to cover because they know the recession is coming in when there's a recession. The last thing they want to do is say, oh man, we screwed it up. So you get ahead of it. You say you screw it up a little bit now, so you don't have to say you screw it up. Lara added, later, you're gonna have a lot of sound bites like after Donald Trump won in 2016, all the people said it would never happen or never happened. We will have the same one from the media, and it did happen. So there you go. As we are hearing, it's sounding like it's going to be inevitable that a recession is going to be on the way with this new spending. Now, whatever unfolds, if there's a recession or not, if Congress and Biden step up and do executive orders and actions to pass legislation, if we get checks, child tax credits, or whatever unfolds, I'll be sure to keep you up to date.